Everyone can please gather around. The presentation is about to begin.
It's been called the Bible of bro culture.
Hear ye, hear ye! House Barstool hath arrived!
Barstool Sports, the unapologetically authentic and oftentimes controversial sports and pop culture media brand.
Hello there!
That's wildly popular with men 18 to 34 years old. With its podcasts, videos, and blogs, Barstool attracts 12 million followers who call themselves Stoolies, drawn to the big personalities who've become an essential part of its DNA. Like Kevin Clancy, aka KFC.
I can talk about what I want to talk about, joke how I want to joke.
Keith Markovich, or K. Marco.
There's not really much of a method to the madness.
And the man who started it all, Dave Portnoy, known to Stoolies and staffers as El Presidente.
One bite, everyone knows the rules.
Now 15 years in, the company has attracted big-name investors and is valued at $100 million. But while its no-holds-barred sense of humor
See if we can duct tape Hank to the wall.
has won the company a fervent following, it has also invited backlash. More than 5 years ago, Barstool's infamous blackout tour sparked protests. They've also been criticized for sometimes misogynist posts. And last year, ESPN, which, like ABC News, is owned by Disney, dropped a partnership with Barstool after just one episode of a new show, ESPN's president at the time releasing a statement following the incident. While we had approval on the content of the show, I erred in assuming we could distance our efforts from the Barstool site and its content. Portnoy responded in an 8-minute video post on Twitter.
You hired Barstool. The deal was with Barstool. The reason you needed us is because we're Barstool.
We try to be funny. A few times in the span of maybe 15 years, I would say, it's very few times I've said something that maybe rubs people the wrong way. I would argue it's always trying to be funny and not everything lands.
But what might come as the biggest surprise about Barstool Sports is its CEO.
Erika Nardini, CEO Barstool.
Erika Nardini.
I was the last candidate, I think, to come along. There were over 70 were men, but I think there was something that clicked with me and Barstool. I saw what Barstool could do, which is just how big this brand has the potential to be and just how powerful its audience is.
You were the second woman to work here?
Second woman ever, yep.
What did friends and family say?
I had friends who were huge fans of Barstool and were excited and really behind it. I had colleagues who thought this was career suicide. Barstool was very polarizing. The decision was very polarizing.
There are people who believe at least some of the content on Barstool is sexist.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to that?
We're not a sexist company. I think most people who criticize Barstool don't actually read Barstool Sports or listen to our podcasts or watch our videos.
Have you ever been offended by any of the content?
I'm not easily offended, and no, I haven't been offended. Payroll.
Since joining the company in the summer of 2016, the former AOL executive has helped Barstool increase revenue by 8 times, sent brand advertising soaring 700%, and commerce by 300%.
I brought to Barstool what I knew how to do, which is to scale, to monetize, to create a platform, to build systems, to think about the brand and brands that we could build underneath Barstool.
The demo spends an average of 45 million minutes a month consuming Barstool Sports content.
Well, you have a lot of guys that are adulting. They're learning how to be adults. They don't have the adult commitments, yet they have disposable income, so they can buy lots of toys.
I think the most elusive consumer that anyone has is a 19-year-old. They're not watching television. They are not buying the things that they used to. They're not going to retail stores. They are different, and we are a company that understands them.
Portnoy quit his desk job to start the company in 2003.
The early days content was all like fantasy football, poker, gambling. That was 95% of it.
At first a niche newspaper, Barstool eventually grew into a website.
It moved away from just the gambling roots to more of a lifestyle magazine, newspaper, whatever you want to call it, in which we talk about anything a guy may be interested.
Attracting big names like polarizing football player Johnny Manziel, his agent Eric Burkhart, Blackheart and Barstool newcomer Casey Smith.
It's basically just putting a microphone sitting in front of your friends, talking about sports. What's so different here than at networks, I can walk into our CEO's office and talk to Erika about any concern that I have. At other networks, you can't get to those people.
Smith left behind her job as an anchor for NBC Sports Boston to join Barstool earlier this year.
When I was presented the opportunity to come to Barstool, where you can be whoever you want to be, you can say whatever you want to say, for better or worse, it was an opportunity I couldn't pass up.
The Barstool community has also rallied around important causes, giving back to victims of the Boston Marathon bombing.
Hopefully it helps.
Fundraising for firefighters and supporting veterans.
I've been following Barstool since I was literally a kid.
But it's the brand's unwavering identity that keeps Stoolies coming back for more.
People are tired of boring, safe content.
What has dealing with all of these controversies taught you about the right way to handle them?
I think you have to lean into controversy. I don't think you can back away from who you are and what you stand for. It's a brand that's unafraid, and it's a brand that's very loyal to its audience, and in return, its audience is very loyal to it.
How difficult is it to maintain that brand identity?
I don't think that maintaining a brand in this day and age is difficult. What I do find is that the walls are closing in, and the definition of what's okay and not okay is polarizing. I ultimately think that's very good for Barstool Sports, because Barstool is Barstool, and we know who we are, and we know what we do, and we stand by that.
For Nightline, I'm Rebecca Jarvis in New York.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.